Quick, get it back, there's trouble at Clonin Plan. England, for me, has always had quite a complicated relationship with sci-fi. If you scratch beneath the surface, you'll realise that some of the sci-fi greats were actually entirely filmed within England itself. Alien 1 and Aliens are prime examples. The first being directed by Ridley, shot in Shepperton Studios. Even the miniatures were made in Berkshire. But when you watch the film, especially as a younger lad, all the American actors and glamorous visuals always made me think that it was something that came over from the US. It's a great Alien poster, that is. I think you can see the artist down on the bottom left. I'll try and tag them. Beautiful. It's all in there. Even the scanner, look at the top, and the planets, everyone can see, okay? This is going to come as a huge shock to all of you, but the BBC used to be really good. Terrestrial TV used to be worth watching. Can you believe that? The BBC 2 and Channel 4 gave us some amazing alternative comedy and awesome sci-fi comedy shows, one of which being Red Dwarf, which is probably the one that you've heard of from this genre. I'm going to be looking at a show that ran in 2006 to 2007 for only 2 series, and it was called HyperDrive. And it starred one of the famous duo called Nick Frost. So Simon is not in this, and neither of these had anything to do with the writing, which came as a bit of a shock because it's kind of got that Cornetto trilogy feel, and you know these films as Shaun of the Dead, The World's End, and of course Hot Fuzz. Some of the comedic actors within HyperDrive have actually worked with Simon before. There was a show called Big Train, which was very popular, and some of these faces you may recognise. You're talking 20 years ago.
Is that Tom Henderson?
No, no, not him. You must be a wanker.
Some of the female guest stars also featured in a series called Smack the Pony, which was very large and ran for even longer than HyperDrive. And check this awesome fighter sketch out. That resolution is still around on some Switch games. Ouch, Goop. The show also co-stars an actress called Marinda Hart, who was everywhere during those 5 years. From about 2000 to 2005, she had her own show. She is incredibly good at awkward sexual tension, and you see a lot of this play out with the captain and her. It's kind of half the reason to be watching the series. Okay, I think we're all up to speed. Let's begin. The first thing you'll notice is that it's shot on an incredibly low budget with a set that is comedically small, and they play up on this by having people walk 2 steps before stopping or having corners at every given angle to make the ship look like it's the size of a thumbnail.
Identify, please.
Henderson.
Space Marshal. Can I just say, first contacts, they really are my favourite part of the job, you know. We're reaching out across the galaxy and we're saying, hello, we're your Sky Brothers.
Yes, very good. See if you can get planning permission for a Tesco orbital.
Also stars an excellent cameo from Patterson Joseph. Peep Show, that's comedy royalty. If you know, you know. And he always delivers a really good authoritative role. He's great in senior positions.
Regulations clearly state that all crew members must watch the film before going to a new planet. I'm sorry, I must insist. Thank you, follow me.
The plot is that we're observing HMS Camden Lock, which is a ship that's out there doing diplomacy and just various tasks with interstellar relations and just dealing with aliens on a day-to-day basis.
Let's take a close look at his genitals. Pustules have developed, and on the pustules, warts. Soon, his entire groin explodes, revealing 5 baby octopoids, each with his face.
So think Star Trek, but just with none of the sophistication or sort of detailed lore. This thing is very two-dimensional on its science, but they play on that, using stupid terminology when the ship's in trouble, rerouting the power to the Nexus factor drives, that sort of thing. Also, Jeffers gives us the greatest gaming Easter egg here ever, and we'll get to Jeffers. You will have a solid grasp of the Jeffers character by the end of this video.
What is the next shape in this sequence?
I got the nail gun.
Other than Jeffers, the other adorable character is a guy called Mr. York, who was in Big Train. He plays an officer that's completely obsessed with security to the point where he endangers a lot of the alien life they come across. He's kind of like Odo from Deep Space Nine meets Heinrich Himmler.
Then we'll go down with these, and we shall stand before them and say, "We are Death, destroyer of worlds. Bury your husbands, then come and enjoy your new branch of Morrison's."
His unhealthy disdain for the crew and constant need to be overthrowing the captain's authority is also another excellent angle, and the chemistry between him and the Frost character is actually amazing.
You, no sandals on the Crimson Alert. You, shave your arms. Attention all crew, this is Mr. York. This is a Crimson Alert. I repeat, a Crimson Alert.
York. There's no such thing as Crimson Alert.
There is now, we're at war. We need to be vigilant. You, be vigilant.
What happens under a Crimson Alert?
Floggings, keep order, lots of floggings.
What for?
Mutinies, suspected mutiny, being afraid, not enjoying your last flogging.
His obsession with flogging is almost borderline sexually perverse, and he never really shows any emotion through the whole 2 series. He's quite a stoic character, and the majority of the time his attitude does way more harm than good. He's a perfect example of the antagonist authority type that ends up just ruining everything. Comedy gold.
You are all miserable wretches who have proven your mediocrity to me time and time again, and your only hope of success is to submit utterly.
The death swarms will arrive in 36 hours.
Let's get to Jeffers, because Jeffers is the adolescent analogy, I feel. Never takes anything seriously, but really good on a technical basis with all of the equipment. So he's kind of needed, but at the same time he just mucks everything up and can't keep his eyes focused on a task. And he's always swept up with every single fad, normally sides with the aliens by accident. And again, he is a cause of a lot of the disruption on the ship.
Kill the humans. What? Kill them all.
Is this?
Kill the humans. It's the new Lalakis battle song. They do a new one for every war. I've just downloaded the MP90.
Listen,
We kill.
your job is to help maintain this ship, not to destroy morale.
Let's get to Officer Teal. This is the Marinda character. I love her bedroom with her little rosettes, reserve champion. As an actress, she's well over 6 foot tall. She totally dwarfs the captain. It's brilliant chemistry between them both, and every time there's an emergency call or if there's a one-to-one needed, she immediately assumes that it's a date. It's brilliance, and it happens just about every single episode. The poor woman has her heart broken constantly.
Teal.
I felt it too, Commander. In times of danger, people are often thrown together passionately. I've been reading about it, and the act of love is often so much more intense when we're in that danger.
Teal,
Yes.
I had an idea for the battle plan, so I asked all the officers here. Please.
Good evening.
Did you take a year off before uni?
Me? No, I left school and went to a weird far-off planet called work.
One thing I do want to point out, and I know I was talking about the small sets and low budget, but they obviously had access to some really good makeup and practical effects, because a lot of the aliens look really well done and their facial prosthetics are amazing. Watching this in 2024, it's incredible how much of the in-camera material holds up.
Come and get the delicious man.
The first 3 episodes are on YouTube. I'm going to link it. And the first episode is obviously massive. It could be the pilot. So much happens in it. Jeffers goes on an intergalactic race when he's supposed to be waiting in orbit to rescue the team. We're treated to some Wipeout 2048 graphics. And he ends up winning. And this scene where it slowly dawns on him that he's probably left his whole crew to die is absolutely spot on. Back to that adolescence thing. The slow dawning of the situation is perfect.
First time in my life, I'm completely happy. I've got this faint voice in my head telling me I'm in a lot of trouble right now, but I can hardly hear. It's getting louder now because I'm thinking it's quite loud. All right.
Attention all crew. It's Stilton fortnight at the canteen. Get down to the canteen for 2 weeks of Stilton-based treats.
So we've got to talk about the Enhance, it's called, and this is the female navigationary AI. I think it's a representation of a sort of Cortana style character, and there's something else that has a female robot computer thing controlling the console. I'm sure I remember something about this in Babylon 5 or Blake 7. Please put something in the comments, because I'm pretty sure the writers weren't big Halo players.
Alright, Sandstrom, absorbify all available data on enemy vessels. Okay, so we can outrun them.
Negative, miss.
But we can outgun them.
Negative, miss.
Is there anything we have that they don't have?
Our hull is 1.2 centimeters thicker. We have a larger range of baguette fillings.
I really only touched on the peaks of this show, and some of the episodes aren't going to make you laugh out loud the whole time, but most of it is genuinely very funny. And has it held up over the years? My God, yes. The links to the YouTube videos were uploaded 15 years ago, and they're in like 1440, hence the small window. There is another show, Garth Marenghi, which was over on Channel 4, which was also out at around the same time that I'd like to do a showcase on, but I'm pretty sure most of you know about that.
Sorry. Yes. Can someone help the Enhance, please? Anyone? Guys, future reference, if you see the Enhance doing that, please help her.
The channel does have a film section, particularly sci-fi and horror. I would love your feedback on that, and thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. Please stick in the comments that you have or haven't seen HyperDrive, and I will, of course, see you down there.